What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at this brand new Nissan Sentra SR. Big shout out and thank you to Flo Nissan of Statesville for providing this car for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. So this one finished off in a really nice electric blue. We're going to unveil the MSRP at the end of today's video and we're going to see if I think it's worth the money. Underneath the hood of this Nissan Sentra, you're going to find a naturally aspirated 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine. It pumps out 149 horsepower with 146 pound-feet of torque, paired to a CVT transmission and sending all the power to the front wheels. With a curb weight around 3,000 pounds, running on a 12.4 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 28 miles per gallon in the city with 37 out on the highway. Overall length is 182.7 inches with wheelbase at 106.8. Width is 71.5 and height is 57 inches. This Sentra also features the SR Premium package, which is going to give you a lot of good aspects on the inside as well as exterior. You can see these LED headlights with a blacked out housing and a very nice LED DRL. A very cool design, and you can see this gloss black trim piece cutting right towards them from the lower grille. There's also chrome all around the grille with gloss black for the actual mesh, and I love the smoked out design right above the Nissan logo itself. Very cool the way they blacked everything out on the spec. We have a lot of sharp body lines, an LED fog light down below, and a pretty aggressive lower portion of the front bumper. There's more openings down below to provide maximum cooling, and I think the Sentra's exterior styling comes together very well to make it look like a much more premium car than just your generic economy car. You have a really sharp line going from the front end all the way towards the windshield, and I really like how it comes together. And then at the side profile, we get a set of 18-inch wheels finished off on a split 5-spoke. We have machine silver as well as the gloss black. And there's a sharp body line around the front wheel and one going from the headlight all the way through the side profile. And you see a sharp body line in the lower portion of the doors, and it really adds to the aggressive style. We also get gloss black on the mirror caps with an LED turn signal as well as a side view camera, then body colored door handles. There's a chrome trim piece on the lower portion of these windows with all black surrounding them. The sunroof is up top along with a small shark fin antenna, and I like this gloss black trim piece kind of making the rear end of the roof appear as if it's floating. The side profile has a very good proportion all around, and I really like those sharp lines above each of the wheels. Gives it a wider appearance, and it really does add to the style. If we make our way in back, we get a set of LED taillights with a red housing, your SR badge as well as a spoiler. We get Nissan and Sentra, and some sharp lines down below. There's parking sensors all throughout the lower bumper, and then a gloss gray trim piece with black mesh design and your exhaust tip on the far left side. The design comes together nicely in back and really comes together very well. So there's a good look at the exterior with the Nissan Sentra, especially in this blue color. It really stands out and pops. For being an economy car, it is really good looking. We have Nissan's key fob, you get remote start. If I go ahead and lock the car, I can keep the key fob in my pocket, and then there's gonna be a button on the door handle. You can just press that, it'll unlock, and we can check out this interior. This particular interior spec with that premium package gives you a nice leather interior, and you're gonna see some orange stitching all around. We have this black leather material for the armrest with some padding as well as the stitching, a grab handle, some carbon fiber look design along the plastic, window controls, lock and unlock and mirror controls, then your release handle with more of the leather material. We have a Bose audio system, Sentra written out on the door sill, and then all of your power controls are on the left side of the seat. You can see the smooth leather material with contrast stitching, a very simple design for the base, and then some nice stitching along the backrest. You get a pretty cool orange design for the stripe running towards the headrest, and then more stitching along the headrest. Then you get a flat bottom steering wheel with black leather and orange stitching. And then now inside the Sentra, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. All the screens are gonna roar to life. You can see a cool animation right in the center. We get an analog tack on the left with your speedometer on the right side. Then the screen in the center is configurable by using the controls on the left side of the steering wheel. So right now you can see average fuel economy information. You can scroll left and right and see tire pressure, a few more vitals within the car if you scroll up and down. Then continuing over, we have your Sirius and all of your audio. We have different safety settings as well. And then we have all of your different settings that'll come up within the car. Taking a look at the steering wheel now, we have controls on the right side for all the cruise control as well as some Bluetooth. Then we have more audio controls on the left. You can see your windshield wiper stock to the right side and then turn signals on the left with all of your headlight controls. Then on the left side of the steering wheel, we have your trip reset, interior dimming, and eco button, as well as the trunk button. We have one of the air vents, more of that carbon fiber material, as well as the leather material, and then some more orange stitching running across the entire dashboard. It has a pretty nice look to it, kind of three-dimensional. We have the 3 central air vents right in the center, then our navigation screen. We can see all the information coming up for audio. We have all those different settings. Tapping the menu icon, we get to our main screen that you can scroll left and right, see a few different things that will come up in the car. We have shortcuts down below for more items, as well as a shortcut for the camera. We get a top-down view as well as that rear view camera, and we also have an adjustment for night and day. Volume on the left, tuning and scrolling over on the right side, and a pretty simple screen overall. We can see the heated steering wheel as well as heated seat controls with all the climate controls. We get dual zone temperature, you can easily adjust, fan speed in the center, your different modes, and you can sync it with your air conditioning. We also have our on-off button. We have plugs down below as well, and quite a lot of storage space for a couple cell phones and other items. Then we have more of the orange stitching, your gear selector, and more of that carbon fiber type material along the cup holders. A little bit of storage here, more orange stitching and the black leather material. Then opening this up, we have a pretty large glove box, just a big bucket in there, very roomy. And we have a pretty good glove box on the far right. One last look at the interior. The Nissan Sentra is a pretty good looking car. Again, for being an economy car, it looks nice and sporty in here, pretty good fit and finish, and a pretty good layout overall. Up top, we have a tan headliner with your sunroof shade, all of those controls, your dome light and sunglass holder, and then your mirror up in front. And then moving to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel is finished off just like we saw up front with the leather material as well as stitching. And then in back, you can see 3 people here, more of the black leather and stitching. And then the center backrest you can grab and pull this down, and we have a nice set of cup holders as well as an armrest. There's also storage on the back side of the passenger side, and then you can see a USB port. So then sitting now in the back seat of the Sentra at 5'11", I'm actually pretty roomy back here. My hair is barely touching the ceiling, but I actually do have about maybe an inch of headroom. And then the driver's seat set at my height. I have plenty of legroom and knee room in here as well. So not a bad setup for a small car. We get dome lights up on top as well as all your grab handles, and then quite a lot of glass all around. Moving on to the storage area, if we grab the button underneath the Nissan logo, we can manually pop open the trunk. We have a huge trunk in this car, very low load floor, and it's extremely squared off. You really do have a ton of storage space in the Maxima, and you even have some hooks up above that. You can see them just pulling down. And then after manually folding down the rear seats, you can see how much more storage space you're gonna get in a Sentra. They fold nearly flat, and you have a huge opening into the trunk to make this a very, very practical car. All right, setting off now in the Nissan Sentra, testing out that 4-cylinder. Just giving it a little bit of gas. It seems pretty peppy, you know, it gets up to speed nicely. It's not crazy fast, obviously. However, it'll do what you need to do. It's really comfortable sitting in here too. You have great visibility, huge windshield. You can easily see out, and then all the mirrors do a really good job letting you know what's going on. Visibility over your left and right shoulder, pretty good. You really don't see any crazy blind spots or anything like that. And then the steering is nice and tight. I like how the steering wheel actually has a little bit of weight to it, so it feels a little bit more engaging and responsive than just a really floaty steering setup. But overall, it's pretty comfortable to be in. Let's test out the turning circle. Being front wheel drive and obviously a smaller car, it's pretty pinpointy, and I could probably have made that, quite honestly. But cameras and everything do a great job. Just an easy car to drive around. I really think, I mean, obviously this is gonna be like a daily driver, just point A to point B kind of car. And you can really tell it's just easy and simple to maneuver in any which way. It's also pretty quiet in here, not really a noisy car at all. If we get up to some speed again, just cruising on a decently smooth road, 40 miles an hour. Pretty well insulated from the outside elements. On a noisier road, you can hear a little bit of the bumps and things like that, but again, for being just a nice economy car, it actually feels pretty solid. The seats are nice and comfortable. The steering wheel feels really good holding it. So you have some nice materials that you're touching, and everything on the interior, it's really simple, really easy. Nothing too flashy or crazy about this car. It's just an easy car to maneuver. And then in eco mode, that'll just kind of tone down throttle response just a tad, just to make it a little bit more efficient. However, it's already incredibly efficient. But just normal driving, I don't think you can really complain. It seems roomy enough, and again, in the front seat at 5'11", I'm fitting comfortably. You have plenty of leg room, headroom, and things like that. Only downfall, I would say, with these front seats, they only go up and down. They don't rock forwards and back like the base, so I feel like the seat's pretty flat. I wouldn't mind sinking the back down farther and the leg portion up a little bit, just so I could be a little bit more comfortable. But overall, nonetheless, it's a pretty comfortable car. Accelerating in eco mode, definitely got to put a lot more throttle input into it. But if we just take it out of eco mode, not a bad car to zip around town with. So turning around to my perspective, honest thoughts about driving in the Sentra, likes and dislikes. I think really the only thing I don't like, I just wish the base could sink down more. It literally just goes up and down. There's no way, to rock it back to where my butt can be farther down the seat, my legs can be higher up. So if you're a taller person, I feel like that would probably maybe be an issue with this car. If you're a little bit taller, it's slightly hard to get perfectly comfortable comparing it to other seats with more maneuverabilities. Other than that, though, it drives kind of like what you would expect. It's an economy car, getting up to some speed, half throttle. The CVT is interesting. It kind of does shift like a normal transmission. So Nissan does do a pretty good job with their CVTs to where it feels pretty normal. This one, not quite as nice as the one you're going to find in an Altima or the Maxima. This one's kind of just your basic CVT. However, it doesn't just kind of wind out the engine like CVTs do. So it kind of does have some gears which at least give you that little bit extra sense of normal driving, but it gets up to speed. It's comfortable enough, peppy enough. When you are driving, we're going about 50 miles an hour right now. Again, it's comfortable and quiet. You don't really hear much, maybe just a tad wind noise, but not even. So it's actually pretty well insulated, and the suspension is really smooth as well. It drives like a more premium car than it is. Now this is kind of their basic car. The Versa is probably the most basic Nissan you can get, but the Sentra seems like it has a little bit of a premium touch where it's not just some cheap car. It's actually a nice economy car, and it drives like that. When you come up to a stop, the brakes are really solid feeling. The whole car just feels pretty solid. It's not the fastest thing, giving it some gas, accelerating up a hill. It takes a minute for the weight to start carrying, but obviously you're trading that for really, really good gas mileage. When we go over some train tracks, pretty solid car. It really doesn't rattle and shake around like other economy cars. So I feel like Nissan did do a good job just insulating it and making it feel like kind of a peppy little quality built car for a pretty good price, which you'll see in just a second. Can't really come up with any other downfalls. The tech works pretty simple. It's nothing fancy, nothing that's gonna blow your socks off or anything like that. But overall, it just kind of comes together to be a good economy car. It's comfortable, it's really roomy, and you have a nice premium feeling to it with this premium package that puts it up a step of just a basic cheap car. If you, of course, get a base model Sentra, you're gonna get cloth and no sunroof, no heated steering wheel, things like that. So I think this package kind of gives you the luxuries that you want in like more expensive cars, but still based on an economy car, save some money, and get just a good point A to point B kind of car. So with all that said, this Nissan Sentra SR with the SR Premium package is $27,000. So do I think it is worth 27 grand? Honestly, I do. That is not that much money in today's market especially. It's a pretty affordable, inexpensive car. And with the premium package, it feels a step up. It feels like a pretty nice car overall. Sunroof, heated seats, heated steering wheel, the synthetic leather material. It has some of those fit and finish things you would like in a more expensive car. It drives nice, it's smooth, it's comfortable. I think if you're comparing this with a Toyota Corolla, which is probably the biggest competitor, or maybe a Honda Civic, I feel like this certainly stands a chance against the competition. Toyotas seem like they have a lot of plastic in them. This one just feels like it's a little bit nicer material, and same with the Honda. So I feel like all three of them probably are really, really good direct competitors. And I think from Nissan, you do get a car that feels like a nice vehicle. So good car for the money if you're looking for an entry-level car. I think the Sentra is definitely something to put on the list. Big shout out and thank you once again to Flo Nissan of Statesville for providing this new Sentra for today's video. Take a look at their website linked below, and I'll see you all in the next video.